In Raleigh, we sort of have the old South accent and speak very much from sort of the down eastern part of the state. And I grew up in the mountains where you're more likely to talk like this. But I'd say Raleigh is kind of the conservative older brother. Durham is the scrappy middle kid that's just, always had bad reputation. And Chapel Hill is sort of the golden child, the youngest born.
I think for a long time, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill were not really talking to each other, not collaborating, and entrepreneurs in each of those cities weren't really running into each other or leaning on each other.
Entrepreneurship tends to be something that collects and is centered in one place. So having it spread out is a difficult proposition.
There's also, I think, a significant amount of desire on the part of each of the communities to not be a single community again, but to start interacting.
My sense is the way the entrepreneurial sectors are going to grow here are in the downtowns of the various regions, and probably also in the Research Triangle Park as it grows too.
When I first moved here, North Carolina had more head of hogs than people. And now the people outnumber the livestock, so to speak. So we're building a critical mass of people. We need to get over the hump on a critical mass of cash.
We need more capital, right? And there never seems to be enough.
And I would love to see more capital coming into this area.
So we have a few smaller funds and a very good network of angel investors, but it's still been kind of piecemeal in terms of the capital sources.
Someone's looking for $1 million or $2 million to get their company started. It's going to be harder to find that here.
I think, in terms of the great potential of this area lies primarily in the talent that's here.
Having 3 top universities, Duke, NC State, and Chapel Hill, is incredible fertile ground for entrepreneurial ideas.
I think by engaging the universities a lot more than we already have, I think that's going to be huge from a potential perspective.
We as investors want to spin companies out of universities, and the universities want investors to back companies. So we would love to see some of the barriers to technology transfer come down, create more uniformity on how companies are spun out from universities, and simply get more shots on goal.
My sense is we have some terrific companies here. We need to connect them more effectively to sources of capital, talent, and mentorship that are not that far away.
I think that's what I would like to see in entrepreneurship here, is that people become more realistic about what they can and can't do. Kind of a two-edged sword, right? Investors always ask a company to show great growth and huge markets and things like that. But at the same time, you want it to be realistic. So I'd like to see some of the folks here believe that they can be real, strong, good companies, but not necessarily come out and say, I'm going to be Microsoft, or I'm going to be, Red Hat or something like that.
I think this is the beginning of a 5-year transformation. 5 years from now, the triangle will look completely different from what it looks like now from an entrepreneurial perspective.
It's really just, continuing to intentionally work, towards that, the end goal of, being a top 5 center for innovation and entrepreneurship. I fully believe that we'll get there. We have a lot of great minds working, together to achieve that, and it's just going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of intentionality and really a lot of collaboration.
We have all the parts to be an incredibly successful region. We just need to hit that critical mass to make it happen.